I had never had so many bookings like in my life, like ever,
Mm.
in the span of 2 weeks.
So,
I think,
Manny, good sir, welcome to the call, and I appreciate you taking the time to just answer some questions about what it's been like to work together. Um, yeah, so if you could, first of all, just for anyone watching who either doesn't know you or is just kind of watching this for the first time, just introduce yourself. What do you do? Uh, yeah, take it from there.
sweet. Thanks for having me on, Jamie. My name is Manny, guys. I am 33 years old. I'm from South Africa and I'm a fitness coach. I work with ladies and I help women over 30 lose at least 20 pounds within 90 days. At least that's what I pitch. It's more
Oh
than just
yeah,
that. We work on, I mean, that's my offer, right? But for the
yeah.
most part, I just help people feel better, get healthier, feel stronger, build confidence and that kind of thing. And I came to Jamie because I had a problem with leads.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that was exactly going to be my first question. What was kind of your biggest challenge or frustration in your business before we started working together? So tell us more about the lead problem. What was going on?
So yeah, the biggest frustration was just I wasn't getting on enough calls, right? And I know for the business to keep growing, I need more leads. And this was a problem for me. Before we started talking, on a good month, I'd probably have like 5 sales calls. And out of those 5 sales calls, I'd close like at least one or two.
Mhm.
But then it wasn't consistent enough.
Mhm.
So I was really looking for a way to just have more consistent leads, get on more sales calls, and just really build my lead pipeline.
Nice one, man. And obviously we'll get into it, but it's safe to say we've kind of done done that a little bit. Um, but I'm interested to kind of hear from you what it was that obviously this had been going on for a while. First of all, how long had that been going on for? Just kind of 5 calls per month kind of thing.
What we're in, what year is it? 2025, I guess, for the past 4 years, 4 or 5 years, pretty much.
All right.
I mean, when I first started out, I wasn't expecting to get hella calls, right? I was still building my business, building social proof, getting clients, and then clients, I was getting referrals, but I couldn't just be, I knew now that I got my business to a point to where it was running quite smoothly in terms of the fulfillment. So I had
Mhm.
more time on my hands to just focus on other things like the lead generation. And that's something I've been struggling with for yeah, at least 3 to 4 years.
Amazing. Well, not amazing, but amazing to hear that, that's a long-term problem that we kind of took care of. Um, so what was it then? Obviously, it's been going on for kind of 4 years. What was it that made you decide to take action and actually make a change, like try and fix the problem for good?
Well, it was a chat that we had. I think you asked me like how much money do I think I'm actually leaving on the table? Like how much more could I be making if I just had these leads and I was just closing 2 or 3 extra clients per month, and that really framed things for me. And I thought, Jesus, I am losing out on this. I was also at a point where the number of clients I had dropped. I had
Mm,
probably, when we spoke, I had like 3 or 4 clients, and I was thinking, of course, my income had dropped because of that, and I wasn't getting on these calls. So that was also like making me anxious in the back of my mind. And I've watched you make like sales out of nowhere and just pull leads out of thin air. So I thought,
yeah.
like, what am I doing? I'm losing out on all this money. Might as well. You have to spend money to make money, and I know that you know what you're doing. So it was a no-brainer for me. Why not just like pay you and get you to do that stuff for me? Because I don't know what I'm doing in relation to the lead generation. I can make people healthy, but
Mhm.
clearly I can't attract people to me to make them
Yeah, man.
help.
Yeah, it's kind of classic scenario like coaches amazing at what they do, gets phenomenal results, but just not enough lead volume, not enough people know about what you're doing.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
yeah, which is yeah, classic. Um, so yeah, interested to kind of hear first of all, what were your kind of initial thoughts or feelings? So obviously you decided enough was enough, time to take action, invested in some coaching. What were your initial thoughts when we first started working together?
I didn't know what to expect. I was just excited. I was just excited to be working with someone who knows ads and knows about just building the back end of a business.
Mm,
So I was very excited about that. But I had this idea in my head because I didn't know what to expect, but I know I had this limiting belief in my head that ads only work for, I don't know, people with a big name, right?
mm,
Of course, I don't know, Elon Musk can run ads. Everyone's going to see those ads, right? It's a numbers game. I know business is a numbers game, and people already have eyes on them, and they have this product that has like global social proof. So I always felt like surely ads only work for a certain type of person that has a
mm,
certain amount of credibility, whether it's followers or just like global recognition.
mhm.
I was excited and I knew you could help me pull in more leads. It was just a matter of of getting there. I don't know if I answered your question
Yeah,
properly.
no, that's good, man. That's good. Yeah. Um, because what would you say you kind of been trying before? Like, what was your strategy, or what were you doing before we actually started running ads?
So before it was pretty much all just organic content. Put out some content. At first, I was just going for views, and then I learned I shouldn't just be focusing on views on Instagram. Of course, I should be focusing on like saves, like how many people save my post and share my post. That's a lot better. I should be building a community. People should be engaging in the comment section. And every now and then I try boosting a post. So I put a little bit of money into Instagram and boost. I wouldn't really know who to boost to, how much money to put in, which post to boost. And everything was just very, very random, mostly organic. Every now and then, a boost here and there. And I never closed anyone off of any Instagram post that I boosted. I don't believe I have closed one person. So I was mainly relying on organic content, and it just wasn't working, man.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. And then keen to hear now that you've kind of made that switch, you've gone from like relying on organic to then, well, first of all, let's talk through what we actually did. First thing we did was we scripted you a VSL.
Yeah.
So did you know anything about VSLs before, or like what it was going to be like, or just talk about that a little bit?
I mean, you had told me many times, like, man, you need a VSL.
Yeah.
So I knew a tiny bit about it, but
Mm,
I think I didn't really understand the concept behind it. And now,
mhm,
after us building the VSL, and it I know it's half of the sales process. So before
mhm,
a person gets on a call with me, they've already watched this video and we've managed to structure it in a way that it's actually speaking to my champagne client, right? They watch it, they get inspired by it. They're like, oh, I can relate to this. Let me book a call with this guy. They book the call, they get on the call, and they're already excited before we've
mhm.
even started talking. So it's really half of the sales process, the VSL.
Oh yeah, fantastic. And then what would you say, just in general, the switch has been like going from organic to since we switched your ads on? Like, what's been the difference before and after?
So I'll start with the actual just like the numbers in terms of like bookings and stuff. I was blown away. I was really blown away from the first day that we switched them on. And I remember I messaged you. I was like, bro, I'm getting these messages in my DM,
Yeah.
people responding to the ad. And that was, I had never had so many bookings like in my life, like ever.
Mm.
In the span of 2 weeks, I think
Mhm.
we had like 75 bookings. So I was just in my DMs, just talking to so many different people, setting up calls. And the other big switch that happened is it gave me a sense of belief that, oh, like this is what happens when ads are actually being like run properly. And I
Mm.
can also do that, because it really just changed the belief I guess I had in myself as a business owner. And I don't have to be an Elon Musk to be able to run successful ads. I don't have to have 1 million followers to run successful ads, right? I just have to have my messaging correct. I mean, you do a lot of things behind the scenes, of course,
Mhm.
but it just, I'm so excited now for ads and what I can achieve with the ads. Whereas before, I was like, I know I need help, and you never really know how good it is until you've
Mhm.
actually done it, right? You
Yeah.
don't know, you don't know. A lot of people that are sleep deprived don't know how well they function. They
Mm.
actually started sleeping well. You can tell them, but they can't conceptualize it until it
Mhm.
actually happens, and they're like, "Oh my God, I'm actually functioning so
Yeah.
much." So it was the same thing for me. Once the ads started going and I saw my calendar filling up, I was like, "Oh my God, this is the numbers game. This is
Yeah.
the work that I've been wanting to do, because I have friends that are business owners, and I know that, they sit down and they're just going through all of these calls. They're on calls, some are closing, some aren't closing, and I wanted that problem, and
Mhm.
I've never had that problem. I've always
Mhm.
known you need to be on the phone, you need to be talking, and then I finally had that problem, and it made me feel like a proper businessman, you know?
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
They feel like, oh yeah, I've got all these calls, I've got all these bookings, and now it's just a matter of the numbers game and keeping the ball rolling. I had already
Mhm.
done a fair amount of sales calls over the past 4 years, but if I was doing over the span of 2 weeks, I had more sales calls than I've had in like a year, probably,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So just having those 2 weeks to get on the phone with people and just talk and talk kind of, it helped me just solidify the belief in my ability to sell, because it was all
Mhm.
really reflexive. I didn't really have to think about much, and then also gave a lot of stuff for us to work on, because we
Right.
watched our calls back, or rather we watched my sales calls back, and you are able to pinpoint a lot of holes that I had even before we improved the quality of the leads. And then now what we're doing from today moving forward, we've changed how we're targeting, or like which countries and which people we're targeting with the ads, and it's left me in a position that I feel a lot more comfortable in closing those people. I think I would have felt comfortable closing them before, but it was more of a
Mhm.
sense of confidence, because I didn't know
Mhm.
how many holes I had to tighten up in my sales game. So now we're moving on to more qualified leads, but with a much more waterproof sales process, I believe.
Mhm. 100% agreed, man. First of all, just putting in those reps, like getting very used to the sales process, and like you said, getting a load of data back. I'm able to actually see your sales process, see what you're going through, and then just tighten it up so that when we are switching to these higher quality leads, we're starting getting these closes just coming through the door, which is fucking fantastic. So I'm interested to hear, man, because you obviously you're a coach, but you're also not new to coaching. Like you have had other coaching experiences and this kind of stuff. So I'm interested to hear how us working together has been different to other coaching experiences you've had as a client.
Mhm. So I've been working with two other business coaches. I guess it's been a year now, just over a year. We started in October 2023, and that coaching is still ongoing. and uh, that was all on organic content. I was getting
Mhm.
coached on organic content, and it wasn't really improving my lead generation, if I'm being
Mhm.
honest. I think what I took from that is those coaches did help to instill a better belief in my product because I've coached them in regards to fitness and health.
Yep.
So like, this is amazing product. You can really charge more for that, which is great.
Mhm.
So I mean, to be fair to them, I did start doing that and I did make some closes on the back of that
Yep.
for more bringing in more money per client, but it still wasn't enough. Just the lead generation really wasn't enough. And I think if I contrast the two, this is what like our work together is what I hoped my work with
Mhm.
them would have been. I'd hoped there would have been a point once I really dialed in on my messaging and figured out exactly who my avatar is and put out really good content and had clients and posted testimonials and all of this. I mean, I can still improve in that regard, but my organic content I think is better than most coaches, and that
Mhm.
still wasn't happening. And I think just with how competitive things are online,
Mhm.
unless you have, it's also, it depends on the type of followers you have, because you can have a million followers, but it can be a million of the wrong type of followers that aren't going to
Mhm.
buy your
Sure.
product. So when you have these ads that are targeting the right people, then it doesn't really matter if you don't have the million followers,
Mhm.
right? But things are so competitive online that I do believe that the ads are the difference makers. Because I know a lot of coaches that are also online and they're in the same position I was before we started working together. Some of them have
Mhm.
coaches, A, B, and C, and they're just not bringing in enough clientele.
Yep. Fair enough. So I guess off the back of that, if there's someone who's kind of on the fence, they're an online coach, they're thinking about maybe either working with me or just getting coaching in general. I'm not sure if maybe I can help them out. They're not sure if ads are something they can do. They're worried about investing in ads or investing in themselves. What would you say to that person who's currently on the fence?
I would say if you're worried about the cost of starting, imagine the price of staying exactly where you are now.
Mm,
That's what I'd say, because that's pretty much where I was. And I think with you, they can get the best of both worlds. They can get what I got from my old coaches, which is more quality and the organic stuff. Because when we started working together, you were researching coaches and you
mm,
were sending me posts and stories and like, oh, this person is doing A,
mhm,
B, and C in their business and they're getting a lot of clients and look at the messaging here and there. So I was able to even get inspiration from those people you sent over to me, which helped me improve my organic content.
nice.
And I was also able to start generating more leads. I, I'd say if there's a coach that's on the fence, there's nothing there for you on the fence, man. There
Mm,
really isn't. You can't do it all by yourself. If
mhm,
you're probably a good coach, and that's great, but you don't know what you're doing in relation to ads. If you're not an expert, you're just not an expert, right? It's
mhm,
like I'd say to the coaches, think of your clients. Your clients, when they're on the fence and they come to you, imagine that they decided not to work with you and to just continue what they're doing. They don't have the
mhm,
knowledge, they don't have the expertise. They're probably going to continue to yo-yo diet or yo-yo in whatever. It doesn't even have
yeah,
to be fitness. It can be maybe they're trying to, I don't know, sell out their retreats or bring more people to their Airbnb.
mm,
If you do not know the ins and outs of what that's going to take, you're just going to continue guessing. It's just going to build to more anxiety. You're just going to be losing out on money. And then the end of the year is going to come and you're going to be exactly where you were at the beginning of the year and just trying all these different things and not really moving the needle. So it's not it's not blind faith, right? I don't, if people start working with you, they're not just like, oh, well, it's not naive, right?
Mm,
You know what you're doing, you have the results to show for it. And I just think it's a waste of time to stay on the fence because I wasted that time. I know what it's like. I
mm,
thought I'd just keep doing things by myself, but that's not my area of expertise. I know how to coach people. I don't know the digital marketing world as well as a person like you. So might as well let you handle that, which actually has helped me focus on my work
mhm.
because I don't have to be worrying as much about ads. I can actually focus on my content, which I think has improved because I'm
Mhm.
not as anxious about getting leads. Because I know the leads are coming in, and I just need to crush these calls. Just need to crush the
Exactly.
call. So my content also will probably appear less less desperate. I don't think it's come across as desperate, but I know there are times where I'm probably being over salesy in my content because I'm just trying to get that lead in. Whereas if I just put my personality across in my content and I'm more relaxed, that's when people resonate with me and they tend to engage with my content. But what helps me be more relaxed is having an expert take care of all the other stuff like you've been doing.
Fantastic, man. Yeah, it's been awesome. Like obviously we didn't as with ads, like just to set expectations for everyone else watching. It's very rare that you create one ad and the ad pops off and it goes amazingly well. But what did it take us? Maybe two or three tests slash iterations where we created
Mm.
some ads, had a campaign, 7 to 10 days, get the data back, go again, go again, go again. But I remember the day that we did find the winning ad and things did start popping off. And that was as exciting for me, I think, as it was for you. Man. Like it's just
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
gets me so fired up just to see your calendar filling up, to see the ads crushing, to hear, you saying the shift that it's been awesome, bro. And I'm excited to keep working together, take that to the next extreme and really just start scaling your business and taking things to the next level. So yeah, appreciate you taking the time today and appreciate anyone else who's watching for checking in.
Just do it. Get off the fence.
And for anyone else who is watching and maybe wants to see your content, Manny, where could they find you?
At Manny Majola. That's MANNYMAJOLA.
Fantastic. And for anyone else who is potentially interested in running some ads, online coach who's sick of the organic grind and wants some proper leads, drop a link just below this video. You can book in a time to chat, free call, no obligation, leave your card at home. But yeah, book it in and let's keep crushing it, bro. Fantastic, man. I will speak to you soon and keep going.
Awesome. Thank you, Jamie.
Beautiful.